Good morning, Year 3, and welcome to your maths video for today. It is Tuesday, the 9th of February, or the short date will be 09.02.2021. And what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be using estimation to check our answers to calculations and determine an appropriate degree of accuracy. Now, this sounds like we are going to be super mathematicians today. And it sounds a little bit tricky, but once I explain it, I am sure you will get it. So, first of all, I've got this question here, and it says 12 times 8. Now, we know our 8s times tables, and I've done you this one just to show you what we're going to do. So, normally, while we're doing the grid method, what we do, we put the x in here to show that we're multiplying, and we put the 8 here, and we put the 12 here. But sometimes working out like 12 times 8 can be a bit tricky. What we can do, we can make it a little bit simpler just to get an estimation. And when we're estimating, it doesn't have to be the right answer. Okay, this shows us like a rough guess of what number we're going to get. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my times in here, and then I'm still going to put my 8 in here. But with my 12, what I'm going to do, I'm going to round it down to the nearest 10. Okay, and this will make it just a little bit simpler for us. So if we round down 12 to the nearest 10, it would be the number 10. So then what I do, I'm going to do 10 times 8, and we know that it is 80. Okay, so that 80 is my estimation. It is my estimate for it, 12 times 8. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to work it out properly. So I've got 12 here, and I'm going to multiply it by 8, just like we looked at before. Now I'm going to put my 8 here. I don't need this box, so we'll just ignore this box here, okay? And I'm going to do my multiply here, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to partition, which means split the number up, okay? So we know that this one here represents 10, so I'm going to do 10 here. And then this 2 represents 2 ones, doesn't it? Sorry. So I'm going to put my 2 here. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to carry out my multiplications just as I would now using my grid method. So I've got 8 times 10, which we know is 80. We did that on the estimation, didn't we? And then we've got 8 times 2, so 8, 16. There we go. So then what we're going to do, we're going to add these together. So I'm trying my best to make sure that they're in my place value column. So I've got 80, and I'm going to add 16. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to work it out. So I've got 0 add 6. Well, 0 add 6 is 6, isn't it? And then 80 add 10 is 90. So my answer is 96. Now, my estimation was 80. And that's a really good estimation. If it was like 10, then I'd know that my answer was a little bit wrong, wouldn't I? But my answer for my estimation was 80, and my actual answer was 96. So we did a good job there. Let's have a look at another one before I let you get going. So here, it's a little bit trickier, okay? Now I've got 32 times 18. Now here, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to round both numbers because they're both 2 digits and we want them to the nearest 10, don't we? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my multiplication sign here, and 32 to the nearest 10, well, that would it be 30 or 40? I think it'd be 30. So I'd put 30 in here. Oop, there we go. Put my 0 for my 0 ones. Now 18 to my nearest 10, would it be 10 or would it be 20? Well, it'll be 20, wouldn't it? So I'm going to put 20 in there. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Now, when we're looking at numbers like this, they've both got zeros on the end. Now, we know that this is in the tens and this is in the tens. So what we're going to do now, we are going to times 3. We're just going to times 3 by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. But we can't leave it there, year 3, because we've got a 0 here and a 0 here. And when we've got 2 zeros together, that represents 100. So we need to times this number by 100. So we'll times it by 100 and the answer is 600. Now that's our estimate and it's quite a big number, isn't it? Let's see if we can work out the actual answer. So go a little bit further down and I'm going to put my multiplication there. I'm just going to go up and check what I'm doing. I'm doing 32 multiplied by 18. So I'm going to do my 30 there. And I'm going to do my 2 there. And I'm going to multiply it by 18. So I'm going to partition that again. There we go, my 10 and my 8. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky. You're not all going to be doing this, so don't panic. I'm just going that little bit further just to make sure that we cover all bases. So I've got 3 times 1 or 30 times 10. So I know if I times 30 by 10, it would be 300. Okay, now I'm going to multiply 30 by 8, but that's a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply 3 by 8. So 8, 16, 24. So I'm going to do 24 there. Sorry, Miss Dunn got a bit confused then. And then remember, I've still got my 0 here. So I'm going to multiply this number by 10 and I'm making it 24 10 times big. So I'm adding my 0 there. Now I'm going to do 2 times 10, which is easy peasy. We know it's 20. Oh, that 0 is going to be crazy, hasn't it? And then 2 times 8, which is 16. Now this is the tricky bit. We need to add all these up, okay? So we need to remember our place value columns, just as I said before. So I've got my 300. Miss Dunn's trying really, really hard with her place value columns because it's tricky on the computer. And then I've got my 240. And I've got my 20. There we go. And then I've got my 16. And what calculation do you think I'm going to be doing, year 3? I'm going to be adding, aren't I? So I'm going to put my add there. So 0, add 0, add 0, add 6. Well, that's easy peasy, isn't it? That's 6. So let's look at the next one. I've got 40, add 20, add 10. So 40 add 20 is 60. And then I'm adding 10 more, which will be 70. And then the next one, I've got 300, add 200, 300, 400, 500. So my actual answer is 576. That's a good one, that, isn't it? Look how close I am to my estimation. My estimate was 600 and my actual answer was 576. So I'm only actually 24 away. So that's why it's really good sometimes to do an estimate. And this is how you can work it out. You are going to be looking more at this way today, year 3, ignoring that bottom box. So once you're setting these out, please can you do it in your grid method as I've shown, and then you can do your addition at the end, okay? I hope that makes sense, year 3. Just give it your best shot. It's not a problem at all. Please do not panic. Any problems, please just send me a message on Class Dojo. Okay, Class Dojo. Take care, year 3. See you soon.